We are Group 7 of Badm 101 of Levine's class, known as the Roses. Individually, we are Kyle, Adam, Johnny, Adam, Jessica, and Alyssa. And we're here to present a company report on General Electric Company. Enjoy.
Dude, I am not ready. I'm not.
GE formed in 1892 by merging the Edison General Electric Company of New York with the Thomson-Houston Company of Massachusetts. Thomas Edison brought a bunch of companies together to create the corporation Edison General Electric before its merging with the Thomas Houston Company. Meanwhile, the Thomas Houston Company had been able to secure a number of very important patents which made it ideal to merge with. The General Electric Company is credited to have a number of founders. Thomas Edison, as normally the main founder and inspiration for the entire organization, was not the only founder. Charles Coffin, Elihu Thomson, and Edwin J. Houston are all also important founders. GE was one of the original 12 companies on the Dow Jones Industrial Average when the Dow Jones Industrial Average first came into existence. Later on, the National Electric Lamp Association and the Radio Corporation of America were added into GE in 1911 and 1919 respectively, to further the light and radio branches of the corporation. GE opened its first industrial research and development laboratory in the United States. It began in the backyard barn of Charles Steinmetz, and at its founding, it consisted of only 3 employees. Charles Steinmetz was a distinguished scientist and GE's chief consulting engineer at the time. GE itself considers the opening of the Research and Development Laboratory to be one of the most important parts in its distinguished history.
The GE headquarters is located in Fairfield, Connecticut. These buildings are famous for the large solar panels on the roof. GE power plants, factories, and energy farms are located all over the world. There are 2 in Asia, 36 in Europe, and 110 in the Americas. GE installed India's first hydropower plant in 1902 in Bangalore, and now GE's employment in India is over 12,000 people. GE has also made a refinery in Saudi Arabia. It was built in 1942, and now, over 60 years later, there are 670 Saudi Arabian employees. The GE European headquarters is located in Belfort, France. This building is not only the European headquarters, but it is also a gas turbine manufacturing facility. This facility employs over 1,500 people and provides work for many suppliers in France. There is also a major GE wind farm in Bracknell in the United Kingdom. There are many GE installations in the United States. Both of the largest ones are on the East Coast. There is a major supplier in Atlanta, Georgia. Here they sell everything from circuit breakers to large wind turbines. This is one of GE's oldest buildings and was constructed in 1925. The second major facility in the U.S. is in Greenville, South Carolina. Here, over 3,000 GE employees work on and build gas and wind turbines for customers worldwide. This isn't just any plant. This is the world's largest gas turbine manufacturing plant and was built in 1968. Since then, the employee count has multiplied over 100-fold.
GE has many different products and services. Some of the largest include appliances, energy, finance, healthcare, lighting, media, oil and gas, and water. GE's line of appliances include freezers, refrigerators, ovens, microwaves, washers and dryers, among many others. Pretty much everything you need to run a household. The energy sector of GE is probably the most well known. They provide generators, heat exchangers, gas turbines, and compressors. Their services include hydropower, inspection, installation, and consulting, among many others. The financial sector of GE provides commercial lending to businesses needing extra monetary help and also consumer lending to everyday Americans. They provide help to citizens from credit cards to debt consolidation. Surprisingly, GE also provides healthcare delivery. They are working on developing a digital hospital in which they will use technology to monitor patients more accurately. The lighting sector of GE was how the entire company was started. Their company began with the first incandescent lamp, and since has still been the leader in lighting. In the media area, GE owns NBC Universal. They have also recently established a new agreement with Comcast to establish a new entertainment company. Lastly, GE helps to provide oil, gas, and water to millions of customers over the world. Generally, when you hear GE, you think strictly electric. However, GE has many, many side ventures which often aren't thought of.
General Electric, in my mind and many others, is a monopoly, not only in the United States but worldwide. They have been a leading corporation for decades upon decades, having Forbes magazine rank them as the world's second largest corporation in 2010. However, even though GE is a leading corporation, they still have many competitors. Their top three competitors consist of Citigroup, which is a major American financial service company based in New York City, Philips Electronic, which is one of the world's largest electronic companies, and Siemens AG, a German engineering conglomerate which is the largest in England. General Electronic has been competing with these companies for a very long time now, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. Over the years, GE has been known for their advertising skills, being actively involved in advertising their products, having their advertisement range from TV commercials to Facebook and Twitter posts. Being a conglomerate and selling multiple different products, GE carefully chooses when and where to advertise their products. Recently, GE launched a campaign to publicize their role in the world of doctors and hospitals to help promote their medical devices. GE spends millions and millions of dollars every year on advertisement, probably roughly spending $1 million a year. Without advertisement, GE wouldn't be the company it is today.
So GE is an American multinational conglomerate corporation. It consists of large organizations engaged in multiple business lines within the industrial sector. Usually these different businesses are completely unrelated in nature. The basic idea behind a conglomerate corporation is to ensure that there's enough generated revenue from all the businesses to allow for continued operation of each business enterprise individually. So GE has 5 main segments, the most important of which is GE Capital. This one provides commercial lending and leasing as well as other financial services. We move on to GE Energy Infrastructure. They have 3 main companies, which are GE Oil and Gas, GE Energy, and GE Water and Process Technologies. The next is GE Technology Infrastructure. Their 3 main companies are GE Aviation, GE Healthcare, and GE Transportation. GE also owns NBC, which is basically media and entertainment company. And the last of which is Consumer and Industrial, which is basically home and business solutions. So, growth of the industry. The growth of the industry depends on the growth of the industry of the subsidiaries of the conglomerate company. Since a conglomerate company is made of subsidiaries, the growth of the company as a whole depends on the growth of the subsidiaries. So basically, if a certain industry is thriving and the company involved in that industry is bringing in revenue, it can somewhat carry a separate subsidiary of the company that is basically struggling financially. So GE itself is a very profitable company. In 2010, Forbes ranked GE as the world's second largest company based on the formula that compared the total sales, profits, assets, and market value of each of several multinational companies. GE versus the industry. Industrial market capitalization. GE market cap is in 2006 was about 350 billion, whereas the total market cap totaled to around 650 billion. Today GE's market cap has fallen to about 170 billion, but it still leads all others in the industry. So employees. GE also has one of the largest number of employees, and they total to around 304,000. And GE's operating margin of 15.07% was greater than that of the industry, which was around 9.77%.
How the company has performed for its stockholders. At the beginning of 2008, the economy started slowing down, bringing GE with it. By February of 2009, General Electric hit its lowest point since the mid-90s. In the last year, General Electric has risen to an average of $16 per share and has been wavering around there since November of 2009. As of October 18th, GE was selling stock at $16.25 per share. However, prices have ranged between $13 and $20. They hope to reach $20.36 in a year from now. But don't be fooled by the increase of prices. If you look at the dividend payments over the last 5 years, you will see that in 2005 they were paying 22 cents per share and increased it over time to 31 cents a share in the first quarter of 2009. However, in the second quarter of 2009, GE reduced the dividends to 10 cents. It has now been increased to 12 cents a share starting in July 2010. Although this decrease in dividends was a negative for stockholders, many other large companies stopped paying dividends altogether during this time. Despite the slowdown of the recession, GE was able to stay financially strong due to its wide range of products and high level of cash on hand. GE continued to come out with new products and upgrades. As an example, the smart meters that PG&E are installing in each of our homes are manufactured by GE. Also, because GE is an international company in over 100 countries, if the US is going through a recession, only a part of the company is affected.